And before the iPhone grabs the headlines in the newspapers, Florence Vilmino has some other stories for us from today's papers. Hello there.
Hi, Kat.
We're going to be starting off with that story that we've been following pretty closely in Gabon, the contested election results there. You'll remember that 6 people at least are known to have died in the post-election violence. Hundreds of people have been arrested. The fragile calm, I think we could call it, appears to have taken over after several days of violence.
As you said, several days of violence. It's, you have Ali Bongo, who has been declared the winner, but this election result is hotly contested by his rival Jean Ping. It's really hard to know exactly what's happening inside Gabon, though, because there's a media blackout. Internet access is really difficult. It starts, it stops, and social media is pretty much inaccessible. This is a very interesting thing. This is, if you go to the website for L'Union is the national newspaper in Gabon, you can see this is still the article that is on their website, which says that, elections are going on in a very calm and excited way. So you can see this website has not been updated in several days. They don't talk about the violence. So you can see if you're inside Gabon, it's very hard to know what's going on.
All right, here at France 24, it's a story we followed pretty closely. Our internet journalists have managed to interview some of the rival parties, really entrenched in their disagreement, aren't they?
That's right. It's a fascinating article, and if you really want to get the up-to-date information about what we know so far in Gabon, do check out our website on France 24. What this article suggests is that the rivals are really contradicting each other point by point. It is a deadlocked situation. You can see the headline here, for instance. This is a quote from Jean Ping. He claims that between 50 and 100 people have died in post-election violence. Of course, the official figures are closer to something between like 5 or 6. So you can see this is a one point of disagreement. Now, in this article, you can hear the answer from Ali Bongo's team, who says that Jean Ping is lying and that he is, in fact, the instigator of the violence. So you can see this article from our web team really shows just how deadlocked the situation is. Jeune Afrique here is reporting on what observers from the EU, what they're saying about the election. You can see this quote. They're talking about clear anomalies in the results, particularly in the manner that the results were delivered. The EU observers say this was not done in a transparent enough way, and therefore that's why there are these major disagreements over the results. And Jilly, this is interesting. This is an article in a Ghanaian paper, which has been giving very good analysis about the situation in Gabon. If you want to get more in-depth analysis, they're focusing on what the African Union is doing in all this. Now, the African Union says they're going to send a delegation to mediate the post-election standoff, but Jelly criticizes the African Union for waking up too late. And you can see the title here. It's as if the African Union is a doctor that's come to check on a patient after it's dead.
All right, and this story has been very widely and sort of extensively reported here in France. Gabon was a French colony just over half a century ago. The Prime Minister, Manuel Valls, has actually said that he thinks there should be a recount. But it is a tricky diplomatic situation, isn't it, for France and French diplomats?
That's right. And you can read about that trickiness in Le Figaro today. Gabon was a former French colony, and France really has to tread carefully because it doesn't want to seem like it's impeding on Gabon's sovereignty. That being said, and this is an incredible figure, there are 14,000 French citizens living and working in Gabon, and their safety is very much at play right now. Now, this article has an interesting quote because it says the solution will not come from within Gabon. We've seen how deadlocked the situation is. The solution has to come from outside pressure, but of course, that's a very tricky diplomatic situation.
All right, let's move on to the Paralympic Games, which are going to be opening later on this Wednesday over in Rio. A word on the amazing feats that are going to be happening over the next few days.
That's right. There's a very moving tribute to Paralympians in The Guardian in their editorial today. You can see they say that, here we are. We're going to once again be invited to meet the superhumans. But The Guardian is a little bit uncomfortable with the use of that term and says, this is a positive stereotype, but it's still a stereotype. Athletes with disabilities are not superhuman, they're human. And The Guardian says that real progress will come when those with disabilities are neither seen as second-class citizens nor as superhumans that are symbols of virtue, when they're just seen as normal humans that deserve support when they need it.
They're certainly doing some pretty amazing things.
They are doing some amazing things.
I'm looking forward to watching the Paralympics. Thanks very much. Flo Vilmino there, looking through the international papers for us.